Hi everyone, I'm Andy, and this is the AI Breakdown. Welcome to your weekly news edition, where I'll cover what happened in AI last week, why it matters, all in about 10 minutes. Alright, first story. Disney just did the most Disney thing imaginable, and I mean that as both a compliment and a warning sign. They're investing $1 billion in OpenAI, and they've also negotiated warrants to purchase additional equity. Those warrants are crucial. They're essentially options to increase their stake if OpenAI's valuation keeps climbing. Disney is buying optionality, not just equity. And on top of this, as part of a 3-year deal, they're licensing hundreds of characters. Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, the whole treasure chest, so OpenAI's image and video generator, Sora, can create content featuring icons like Mickey Mouse and Cinderella starting early next year. And importantly, it excludes real actors' likenesses or voices. Disney's also rolling out ChatGPT enterprise-wide. Bob Iger framed it as a way to thoughtfully and responsibly extend the reach of their storytelling through generative AI while respecting and protecting creators and their works. This is what legal generative AI at scale looks like when the IP is locked down and the brand is precious. Disney even negotiated guardrails so characters can't be shown in inappropriate ways. But the mood isn't all fireworks and mouse ears. The Writers Guild of America came out swinging, saying the deal appears to sanction theft of their work and cedes the value of what they create to a tech company that has built its business off their backs. That tension, innovation versus labor rights, is going to be a recurring theme in 2026. Next up, and as expected, OpenAI launched their new model, GPT 5.2, in response to Sam Altman's code red declaration aimed at focusing all efforts on boosting ChatGPT's speed, reliability, and personalization to counter intense competition, primarily from Google's Gemini 3 model, which had surpassed OpenAI on benchmarks. GPT 5.2 is available to ChatGPT Plus users and via API, and it comes in 3 flavors: Instant for speed, Thinking for long documents and analysis, and Pro for maximum accuracy on hard problems. The headline feature is that massive 400,000 token context window, meaning it can ingest very large documents or long multi-step instructions without falling apart. OpenAI's product chief Fidji Simo said, "We designed 5.2 to unlock even more economic value for people, and highlighted that it's better at creating spreadsheets, building presentations, writing code, perceiving images, and understanding long context. And the industry benchmarks are backing this up too on the whole." Meanwhile, Google wasn't just shipping a model, it launched Gemini Deep Research, a reimagined research agent built on Gemini 3 Pro, plus an interactions API so developers can embed that autonomous research workflow into their own apps. On one of the harshest tests to put models like this through its paces, humanity's last exam, the results for the latest models show a real step up. Gemini 3 Deep Think comes in around 41%, while GPT 5.2 thinking is miles behind at roughly 34.5%, with others lower. Whilst this means that AI has not solved intelligence yet, these systems still miss more than they hit. It indicates agents are becoming genuinely useful. They're increasingly capable of doing the messy, multi-step work of finding relevant info, weighing it, and stitching it into a coherent answer instead of just guessing confidently. Why should you care? Well, it means faster research loops. You can hand off the hard work getting AI to find the best sources, compare them, and summarize, and get a solid first pass in minutes. There's better multi-step help, planning, troubleshooting, analysis, and decision support benefit because the model is more likely to stay on the rails across several steps. Still not autopilot. A 41% score on a brutal benchmark is a reminder to treat outputs like a sharp junior analyst, great at drafting and digging, but you still want spot checks, sources, and sane constraints for anything important. Now, a big UK story that's easy to miss if you're glued to the model wars. The UK has struck a major partnership with Google DeepMind. The government says DeepMind will open its first fully automated AI research lab in the UK in 2026, using robotics and AI to accelerate scientific breakthroughs. The headline mission is developing next-generation superconductor materials, the kind that can carry electricity with zero resistance, which could be massive for energy and computing. The partnership also calls out fusion energy research, plus public service automation through a Gemini for Government system to handle routine admin, and education work on an AI grounded in the national curriculum to support teachers. Prime Minister Keir Starmer pitched it as a way to unlock cleaner energy, smarter public services, and new opportunities which will benefit communities up and down the country. Partnerships like this will help us go further, faster. That's the sales pitch. The reality will be whether it actually ships working systems, not just glossy announcements. The public reaction, unsurprisingly, is cautiously optimistic. There's pride in DeepMind's UK roots, but also a bit of side-eye because we've all seen big tech plus government projects go sideways. The encouraging part is the deal explicitly expands work with the UK's AI Safety Institute, which at least suggests someone is thinking about safety and governance while they chase breakthroughs. Back to Disney for a second, because the more I think about it, the more it feels like a turning point for content creation. Reuters noted Disney sees this as a way to let fans and creators co-create short-form videos, some of which might even stream on Disney+. That's wild. It's basically official fan fiction, but with studio-grade IP. From a workflow perspective, this could change how marketing teams operate. Imagine ad agencies generating endless variations of short clips with licensed Disney characters, legitimately, rather than dancing around copyright and hoping nobody notices. And internally, Disney expects this to boost efficiency, including in things like VFX and editing. But the labour question is still sitting there, staring at us. The WGA's reaction wasn't subtle, and it's a reminder that AI in media isn't just a tech upgrade, it's a negotiation about who gets paid and who gets replaced. Quick one that matters a lot for smaller teams. Microsoft launched Microsoft 365 Copilot Business on December 1st, aimed at organizations with fewer than 300 users. It's $21 per user per month, cheaper than the $30 enterprise price, and Microsoft says it's the same feature set. So you get Copilot inside Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams, plus Copilot chat and tools for building custom agents, all integrated with your Microsoft 365 data and security settings. There's also promotional pricing through March 31st, 2026 that can bring it down to about $18 per user via partners. Why does this matter? Because it drags AI adoption into the long tail of the economy. If you're a 20-person agency, a 50-person SaaS shop, or a scrappy professional services firm, you can now standardize on an enterprise-grade AI assistant without pretending you're a Fortune 500. Microsoft even cited research suggesting Copilot could deliver return on investment of 132% to 353% for small and medium-sized businesses through time savings. I always take vendor numbers like this with a pinch of salt, but directionally, cheaper bundled AI inside the tools people already live in is how this stuff becomes normal. Two more quick hitters before we wrap. First, NVIDIA bought ShedMD, the primary developer of Slurm, the open-source workload manager used to schedule jobs on a huge chunk of the world's biggest supercomputers. NVIDIA says Slurm runs on over half of the top 100 supercomputers. NVIDIA's promising it'll stay open source and vendor neutral, and ShedMD's CEO Danny Obel called it the ultimate validation of Slurm's critical role. This matters because scheduling is the boring software layer that decides whether your expensive GPUs are actually doing work or sitting idle. NVIDIA owning that traffic control layer makes its grip on the AI stack even tighter. Great if you want a smooth, integrated experience. Less great if you're worried about ecosystem lock-in. And finally, the copyright fights keep escalating. Disney issued a cease and desist to Google over AI use of its characters, accusing the tech giant of copying its copyrighted material on a massive scale to build and deploy AI systems. And the Chicago Tribune sued Perplexity, alleging it scrapes Tribune articles, even behind paywalls, and reproduces them verbatim or in detailed summaries, and even claims Perplexity's Comet browser bypasses paywall protections. Perplexity's Jesse Dwyer, head of communications, pushed back with a line that made me laugh. Publishers have been suing new tech companies for 100 years, starting with radio, TV, the internet, social media, and now AI. Fortunately, it's never worked, or we'd all be talking about this by telegraph. Regardless of who wins, if you're building anything that summarizes web content, or uses retrieval, this is your reminder: the legal layer is now a product requirement. That's all for this week's AI Roundup. If you found value in this breakdown, please leave a rating and hit subscribe. See you next week.